wheels keep turning, sunrise burning, road ahead so wide.
Alright, hello everyone. I'm just making a quick little video here without any form of preparation, so bear with me here. And sorry for wrong side, that light right around there. It is a little bit distracting, but anyway. This video is just gonna kind of be based on my experience so far at the trucking company that I moved to. Well, I guess a bus company that I moved to. So, I guess to get things started, during the interview, I was kind of told that I was coming in to do motor coach and potentially train people and things like that. And so far, I haven't done either. It's been like 4 months, 5 months now. I think it's been more like 5 months now. And I did all the training to get the passenger endorsement, school bus endorsement. School bus endorsements required for motor coach as well, apparently. I'm not 100% sure, honestly, because I've never really done anything with the school bus before or motor coach or anything like that. Anyway, I was supposed to be in to do motor coach. Training was maybe. That was kind of more of a, if it happens, it happens. So I don't really care too much about that because I don't really care if I do or don't train. Anyway, the issue I have is I came in to do motor coach. I never came into the company to want to do anything school bus related. However, I would just deal with it because obviously they do school bus too. So I'm like, okay, I'll do part-time school bus stuff, full-time motor coach, and that's totally fine with me. I'm okay with doing that. However, I haven't done anything with motor coach. I haven't even gotten to the point of training to do motor coach. I've filled out paperwork, but it kind of just seems because I kind of got on them about it. Anyway, about that, essentially like 2 months in, I ask him, hey, what's up with the motor coach stuff? Am I ever going to start doing it? I was told that I was going to do motor coach. Then he tells me, oh, well, I didn't know you ever wanted to do motor coach, this and that. And I'm like, well, during the interview, I literally told you the only reason I applied to this company is because you guys told me there's motor coach positions open. I never wanted to do school bus, and I thought LAMERS only did school bus up here, besides Green Bay. I knew that they had motor coach down in Green Bay. However, I'm like, I didn't know you guys did any type of motor coach up here. So when I found out you guys did motor coach, I'm like, okay, well, I'll give that an option, or give it a try. Not an option, Anyway, give it a try. And they're like, okay. So I do the interview, and he says, yeah, he wants to hire me. Like, he was pretty much right there on the spot. And at that time, I'm under the impression that everything's going to be for motor coach, part-time bus route, but full-time bus route until I get motor coach. And then it ended up turning into just a full-time bus and no motor coach whatsoever. Meanwhile, there's someone else that was getting trained for motor coach, and they keep on saying they're swamped for motor coach. They need motor coach. They're hiring full-time and part-time. So I ask again, I'm like, okay, so what about this motor coach stuff? And he's like, well, we're not really sure if you're going to like motor coach, so we're not even going to tell you anything. It's just you try it, see how you like it. If you like it, you like it. And I'm like, well, that's not really what I was told in the interview, and that's the only reason I came to this company was literally for motor coach. I'm like, also, being local was nice. I didn't like being over the road 45 to 60 days at a time because, my girlfriend didn't like it. However, I'm like, I could easily go back to that if I really, really needed to. It's not like I could not go back to it. If I wanted to go back to it, I could go back to it now. And they kind of really didn't say anything. So at this point, I'm still just kind of sitting here waiting for motor coach stuff. I kind of told them that they have until the end of this week. If they don't, I already have offers at other OTR companies. So if they want to speed up the process, they could speed up the process. If they don't, they don't. I didn't tell them that I'd quit right then But I kind of did imply that, I will if I need to. Anyway, it's now, let's see what day it is. It's now Wednesday the 6th, and there's still nothing from them about anything to do with Motor Coach. So I'm kind of like, okay, well, you have tomorrow and the next day, which I haven't told them that yet. And if they don't get me anything, I'll just go to the other company that has me an offer for the 18th. And there's also one for the 19th. And kind of using that a little bit as leverage. Then again, I mean, I guess I could have probably said it a little bit nicer. However, saying one thing during the interview to then say something completely different after, and then also then backtrack again, it just feels like they're pulling my leg. And then also on top of that, then I found out one day they put me on a trip, and the trip was all the way down to the bottom, like pretty much Escanaba, Michigan, which is about a 3-ish or so hour drive. Anyway, they told me that the bus was inspected when I left, and then when I got back, they're like, "Oh yeah, by the way, the bus wasn't inspected." And I'm like, "Okay, so you put me in a bus, told me everything was good, and that's that? You just you lied? That's what you did?" And at that point, I was kind of like, "Okay, well, if you want to do that, then I just won't drive any routes then. I'll drive the bus that I know for a fact is 100% inspected." They're like, "Well, it was inspected in Green Bay." And I'm like, "Okay, but that's Green Bay, and school buses need to be inspected in the state that they operate out of." So then I call and I'm like, "Is the bus able to leave for any routes? Is it required to be inspected? What is it?" They're like, "Well, one of two things, either inspected or it needs to get approved to be able to operate within Michigan. Otherwise, it's not legal to be operated within Michigan, even though it passed in Wisconsin." I'm like, "Oh, okay, great." So I drove a legal bus. Interesting. All right. Well, thank you very much. Anyway, what happened there is they usually have like these stickers, these green stickers, and they just have printed on them the school year. Well, what ended up happening is that it had a old sticker, so he got the sticker, had a new one, put a different date, and just said, "Oh yeah, it's good to go." What? Good to go? Because you say so? Yeah, no thank you. And then Josh, which is our state inspector for the state of Michigan, got pissed off at him because he decided to go to a bus, rip off the red tag, and then just use it. Just went on his way, started using it. The inspector found out about that, went into his office, and started yelling at him, literally yelling at him. And I'm like, "Oh, lovely. What's going on here?" Well, apparently he was yelling at him, obviously because of the stickers, and yeah, he kind of got put on their bad radar there. And interestingly enough, he was a state police for 25 years, he said, but then he also told someone else 5 years. I don't know if it's 25, if it's 5, if it's 15, if he's just lying out of his ass. I'm not sure. And apparently he did DOT as well. So I'm like, okay, so an ex-DOT slash state police ripping off red tags and using it and saying it's good to go. And then he tells me that my bus is good to go. And I don't find out about him ripping off red tags or anything like that until I already get pissed off, because I'm like, I'm not going to be driving anything that is illegal. I'm not doing that because I had like 50 students. That's a ticket for endangering 50 students. That's 50 separate tickets. I'm not doing that. Anyway, since then, I kind of been like, okay, I don't even know if I really want to stay here with all of these issues. And then just lying like he did, kind of manipulating the interview to tell me things that I want to hear versus actually telling me things that are truthful. And then coming to find out that another driver said he did the same thing with motor coach as well. They needed motor coach, they were swamped. Anyway, it took 2 years. Finally, he's like, okay, I got an opening for you. And then the guy's like, I don't want to do it anymore. I told you like 2 years ago. 2 years later now, and you come to me, and now all of a sudden, because you absolutely need someone, you want me? No, I'm not doing it. Now he doesn't even really take routes or anything, and I'm just like, okay, well, he kind of did the same thing to me, and then other drivers said that he's doing the same thing, not tang, the heck, same thing to them, and then also other drivers that got hired around the same time as me, and one about 2-3 months later are saying they're having issues as well. Then things with pay, like for whatever reason, for like the first 2-3 months, every single one of my pay has been completely messed up. I had to get to the point of getting an app just to track my pay. And I'm like, you guys really can't just keep track of the pay. Like I literally write down this route took this long and they only pay me 2 hours because they pay you a flat rate of 2 hours. So if your route takes an hour, you get paid for 2. But if your route takes more, for whatever reason, they just want to pay you for 2. And I put there in the notes, no, this route took 3 hours, or this route took 2.5 hours, or had to fuel, so it took a little bit longer because my route takes a little bit more than an hour and a half. So if I have to fuel, sometimes it takes a while because I have to wait, so on and so forth, traffic, things like that. And then they don't pay me for that time. Then I have to complain and finally get paid for it, but 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, a month later. Yeah, it's just been kind of a little bit of a pain. Anyway, those are kind of some of the reasons I'm thinking about maybe going somewhere else. Just doesn't really sit right with me to be driving a bus that shouldn't be driven, being told it's good, having a green tag that says, oh, it's good for these years, and it's actually not good for those years. Yeah. So, yeah, that's kind of just how it's been going over here. So hopefully it gets better. Hopefully they start doing the motor coach stuff. But if not, I'll probably just be going somewhere else in around 2 weeks or so time. But yeah, that's essentially just how it's been going. And later.